Good morning and welcome to All Souls. On this hot morning, thank you for braving the heat and for being here in person, and greetings to all of you on Zoom. We're grateful for everyone's presence here today, and in the spirit of friendship, I want you to turn and wave to everyone you see to make them feel welcome and glad they came. Thank you. If there's anyone new here today, we'd certainly welcome an opportunity to hear from you later during joys and concerns, and to sign the guest book in the lobby so we can be in touch with you. And I'm Sandra Boston. I'm your worship host this morning, and we're very fortunate to welcome Betsy Simmons to our pulpit this morning to guide us. And now I invite everyone to breathe. We do it all the time anyway, but this is about conscious breathing, about really paying attention to the air that moves into our body as a gift from the universe, that blesses us with the ability to operate, to sit peacefully in the gift of this air, to breathe, to come into the room, to be present, to be focused, to be at peace. We come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment until we claim for ourselves awareness, gratitude, taking the time to look into each other's faces and see communion. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope is hallowed by our presence here today. Let us take time for quiet reflection as we listen in silence to the prelude, which this morning is the Adagio by Mozart. We're so blessed to have Julia Beatty at the piano. I felt like I was sitting under a gentle waterfall, just being blessed by that music. It's time for our chalice lighting this morning. I want you to open your hymnals to the back and find selection number 498. We'll read together while Betsy lights the chalice for us. Joining me in the quietness of this place, surrounded by the all-pervading presence of the holy, my heart whispers, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in good times or in tempests, I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. Every week in our church, we take up an offering, which gives us an opportunity to exercise the generosity of spirit that supports All Souls and its many ministries. We see this act of giving, of growing more generous in our hearts and in our actions, as essential to our spiritual well-being. As we receive the morning's offering, we will be gifted by a song by our wonderful sage of Greenfield, Annie Hassett.
Good morning, church. I encourage anybody who knows this song to please join in either on the verses or on the chorus. One of my favorite singers and songwriters, Joni Mitchell. Yesterday a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar, tearful that the sky was full of thunder, and fearful at the falling of a star. Please join in the seasons. And the seasons, they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. Can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like, when you're older, must appease him, and promises like someday make his dreams. Please join in. And the seasons, they go round. Painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town. And they tell him it won't be long now. to slow the circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. So the years gone by and now the boy is 20. Though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams that are better dreams of plenty before the last revolving year is through. Yes, and the seasons, they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. And go round and round and round in the circle game.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, roomers, zoomers, everybody together as we can be. My name is Betsy Simmons, and the title of our service today is Crossing Thresholds. So I want you to just think of the first image you have. What's a threshold? Just notice we all have a door, an opening, a crossing, and a beginning.
New life.
Something different, new life, change of the channel, making a choice. Okay, so that's some themes of crossing thresholds. I'd like to start with a poem called Thresholds, and this is an unknown author to me. So thank you, whoever you are out there. Thresholds. We cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside, and back again, from here to there, from anywhere to everywhere, from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, renewal, transformation, from what we were and what we are to what we can be. In this time and place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, into an awareness of new life, pregnant with possibilities. Thank you for that poem, whoever wrote it. So, I'd like to just speak for a little bit about the threshold I feel we may be at right now. And some of us believe we're at a new threshold with the pandemic. Some of us feel still very much in it. But it's been a long 2+ years of this pandemic, right? It changed us. We felt its limitations. We felt its opportunities. We learned caution how to be alone, how to practice self-care in some ways, and care for each other, but from afar. We often experience separation and a real feeling of isolation. We learn to reach out in new ways. Letter writing came back, card writing came back. Masked visits, glassed visits. We found new ways, but we still felt the isolation. So now, possibly, we're entering yet another phase. We can be vaccinated. We can get treatment if we get sick. We can make our choices to continue to keep our distance, to mask, to move a little more freely in the world, if we choose or if we dare. We can choose what we hold on to. Zoom, PJs, privacy, you fill in the blanks, what you want to hold on to. We can choose what we let go of. A lot of us have let go of excessive driving, going to things that we don't really want to go to. We can let go of some of our isolation and some of our fear. We also have the chance to create something brand new, because I believe we don't go back, we can only go forward. So, with that premise, life is uncertain. Anybody heard the phrase, life is uncertain, eat dessert first? I love that. Life has always been uncertain. It will continue to be so. Reality changes, meaning science changes as we get better at it. Our bodies are always changing. Our brains are changing. Our behavior is shifting. We learn as we go. As I said, we go forward, not back. Life is risky. We consciously and unconsciously are always weighing our risks, our rewards, our gains, our losses. We take chances. We make choices every single day. Not just about COVID, about many things, right? We expose ourselves and protect ourselves from whatever we deem to be dangerous and calculate our risk-reward. So, I've been thinking a lot about this in these 2 years, and I came up with a little acronym, which is VET. You know how you vet something? You vet a situation, you assess, you discern, you look at all the factors, and you either vet someone or you vet a decision. So this is vetting yourself, and I'm going to just describe it. And so vetting is a careful, critical assessment or appraisal of yourself at this moment, in this body, this mind, this spirit. And if we consider these 3 questions, it might be a good starting point to see how we make our best decisions to move out into this time in the world, which is ever-changing, and balance being true to myself and also being part of the community. So the V. The V stands for vulnerable. And again, it's nice to think in images and first thoughts in your own hearts. Vulnerable, what comes up. You don't have to speak it, but just vulnerable. What I mean is how vulnerable or susceptible to illness or danger do you feel? How does your vulnerability show up in your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health? For instance, some of us are more afraid of a physical contagion and getting a physical infection or illness. Others are more concerned about our soul, and we need to feed our soul, and it's worth stepping out to risk certain physical things for the sake of our soul. So again, all the choices. How safe or unsafe do you feel in public? Here we are in public. Stores, restaurants, senior families, traveling, all kinds of things we can choose. What does our age have to do with our vulnerability? What is our health constitution? How have we fared thus far in life? What has our experience been? And under what conditions do you feel either cautious or courageous? So that's the V, vulnerable. And we're going to be sharing in a few minutes, so I just want you to keep them in mind, and I'll remind you. E, essential. Remember the term essential worker? Healthcare workers, food workers, trash collectors, people we couldn't do without. And I think many of us felt left out in that, oh, I'm not essential, I'm not really needed. But now I'm asking you to assess yourself, vet yourself, how essential are you out there in the world? Who needs you? Your family, your grandkids, your neighbors, strangers, people that have depended on you for a long time. You know, dig a little deep. Who needs you out there in the world? You are essential. And what do you need to step out to? What can't you do without anymore? What are you really craving? A connection, an inspiration, a practice, a visit. So how necessary are you? Who appreciates and depends on you is what that E is about. And the last one, T, is trust. How trusting are you to step out into the world? Do you trust yourself to take your own measures of protection? Do you trust the public, each other, to take care of not just themselves, but you as well, following the rules, keeping the distance, responding to a request if you have it? Could you please mask up? I'm not comfortable. Or could you step back? I'm more comfortable. So how trusting are you? And then in a bigger picture, what do we trust in general to help us guide our way through life? And there's many possibilities, from the universe to God or a higher power to science and public health, to the cycles of change, as we heard, the circles, natural circles. Good luck. Some people consider I've had pretty good luck, I'm going to take my chances. Some people do feel like they have good karma, good luck. So your own personal experience and your own ethics might be your guide. So, and lastly, what else matters? Approval of somebody or some group, being autonomous to yourself, being part of a community. So all those things are part of what we trust. And again, what does comfort and caution provide us? What does courage and daring offer us? Okay, so VET, vulnerability, essentialness, and trust. And what I'd like to invite is for people in the room and people on Zoom to, if you choose, find one or two people, and Dan, thank you, is going to set up people on Zoom to do this. I would invite you to sit with somebody that you didn't come with, but I'm looking around and everybody came on their own today. So we're open to meet other people, wonderful. You might just turn to the person in your row, one up. You decide how distant you want to be, if you want to be masked or unmasked, to see, hear each other. Work that out together. That's part of, it's practice. And each person is going to have about 5 minutes to go over these questions for themselves. The other person is really just listening. So no comments or question or, oh, I know I agree, or we'll get to that at the end. But 5 minutes of pure speaking from the heart and listening from the heart. And I love partner shares because they're not necessarily you don't have defined complete answers maybe. You're thinking aloud, you're feeling aloud, and you have a trusted, safe person who's just going to let you air it out and find your truth. I love the quote. It's let me think. An unanswered question is better than an unquestioned answer. An unanswered question, keeping open to new solutions, resolutions, is better than an unquestioned answer. Yeah. So it's a chance to think, feel aloud, be heard, be held for about 5 minutes. You will hear this. I'll give you a few minutes to get together, and then you'll hear this after 5 minutes. And then we'll pause a minute and switch. And then at the end, you'll have some time to have more of a conversation. Okay? Any questions? Yes? Yes, in your order of service is the little outline, VET, vulnerable, essential, trusting. So you can have that in mind. And you'll remember some of my words, and they're, let them just be done. This is you now. How vulnerable do you feel? How essential do you feel? How trusting? Okay? So use the guide, find a partner. I think we're going to be good in twos. Let's see. And I will be the timer, so I'll let you move toward each other.
I went to a room.
Nice to have everybody have the opportunity to partner. So that was the second 5 minutes. I'm going to offer another 3 minutes or so to just continue to talk, make sure everybody's spoken what they want to speak. And sometimes you get new layers if you take a pause for a silence for half a minute and then see what else is there. So 3 more minutes and then we'll resume and recap. Okay. I don't know if Zoomers can hear that. So I'm going to invite you to take a minute and thank each other for sharing your truth and holding each other's truth, and till you meet again. You can stay with your partner or you can return to your original spot. So that was really nice to witness from up here, seeing people deep in a share. So may this be a beginning for more. I'm just going to sum up a few thoughts, and then I'm going to leave a moment for anybody to shout out an essential message you might have received in your shares. So to be human is to be vulnerable, right? We all do this. We all do this. We all do this, take care of ourselves. We also all have strengths. We're stronger often than we give ourselves credit for, than we know until we're in some kind of tough spot. We all have choices. There's always choices we can make, chances we can take. We are all worthy, and probably more worthy than we give ourselves credit for. People need us. Might just be to see your face. Might just be to see you walk by, that you've always walked by somebody's house, that somebody who never gets out. Might be just the smallest thing, but we impact each other and we need each other. So I hope you count that in your essentialness. we all have to decide what we trust. All the things I listed, all the things you know in your heart to trust. And that can shift what we put our faith in, something, someone, a divine entity, the universe. And we all move in and out of comfort and courage zones, I call them. Some days we're feeling particularly vulnerable. We want to not take any chances. Other times we're just leaping out there and wanting to take more. And we grow when we take a leap. So that's a little inner message I have for myself, is to nudge myself. You have to decide for yourself, where do you need to be nudged? Where do you need to leap? How do you need to grow? And lastly, we balance our independence and our interdependence. It's another balance that we carry all the time. So may we all find our way alone and together. And may the divine spirit that each of us align with guide us on that journey. And with that, thank you for participating, and I will hand it over to Sandra for joys and sorrows.
The inimitable Annie Hassett for a closing song.
Oh, come on now. So I wasn't supposed to say this, but I ran across something by Mother Teresa, and it went, love has a hem on her garment that reaches to the very dust. It sweeps the stains from the streets and lanes, and because she can, she must. Oh, Pat Humphrey's here for you. We are living neath the great big dipper. We're all washed by the very same rain. We're all swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Try that. We're all living neath the great big dipper. We're all washed by the very same rain. We're all swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all living to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the break of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime. In humility, I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We're all living neath the great big dipper. We're all washed by the very same rain. We're all swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Let me see. I move forward with my senses open. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, binding intuition, my head, my heart. I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me band together to be my guide. Loving spirits that I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We're all living beneath the great big dipper. We're all washed by the very same rain. We're all swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never knew that they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never realizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We're all washed by the very same rain. We're all swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, the beings that we live inside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. We're all living beneath the great big dipper. We're all washed by the very same rain. We're all swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Thanks, Pat Humphries.
Oh, isn't she a blessing? Thank you so much, Annie. Oh, and Betsy, that service today really put me in my heart, which is what I long for the most when I come here on Sunday mornings. I hope you feel the same. It's time in our service now for joys and concerns or sorrows. Kate, I don't know if you're prepared to run around with the mic or not. You are. Yippee-doo. And Annie, maybe you get a light from there and be willing to light the candles. This is a time when we invite you to just raise your hand if you have something to share, either a joy or a concern or a sorrow. We want to hold all of this together as a community. And Dan, I'll expect that you'll share, if people can put in the chat if they have something they would like to share. So raise your hand if you have something you'd like to offer. And this is also a time when any visitors, we really welcome you to introduce yourself. We'd love to say hello and know your name.
Hi, my name is Mel, they, them pronouns. This is my second time here, so I guess technically I'm still a visitor. So I work in social work doing in-home therapy for families that have youth, children and teens that are like referred to us by DCF. So they often come with a lot of referral behaviors like substance use, physical aggression, past like traumas and everything. And I work with a caseload of 5 kids right now, all teens and 1 5-year-old. And boy, are all my kids struggling right now. Specifically, the 5-year-old I work with, we recently have learned information that told us he may have experienced SA in the past. So just asking you to generally keep the families I work with, the families we work with, like in your hearts, because it's stressful and it's difficult to see these kids like going through stuff like this, especially at such a young age. Thank you.
Welcome.
Morning, my name is Russ. One of my best friends in the area here, Dennis, who's 72, called me yesterday, said, well, you can't come over to watch the game tonight because I'm in the ER And I'll get in touch with you again when I know more. I'm scared. I'm sorry. I just, it just kind of like really hit me. I know a lot of people, but oh, I hate the idea that you know, thank you.
Deep breath, everyone. Deep breath. Anyone else want to share?
Hi, I'm Tina. I was late today because I was talking to and petting the little gray tree frogs that are on our quote vernal pool. And I almost didn't come because I was a little bit distracted by them. And that brings joy to me. But I came to have a candle lit for our friends whose son Zach has he's a friend of ours. He has progeria, and he's coming to Boston for a surgery on Tuesday, for a major heart surgery, which will be the first time this has been done on a child with progeria. So I'm concerned, but I also trust Boston Children's with my daughter's life and others.
Another threshold. Anyone else?
I'd like to light a candle of joy. So last weekend, we had a tag sale here. We made lots of money, $1,300. The membership committee decided that we would like to share the proceeds a little bit. And so we are going to send $200 to Ukraine support. And then the second part of this is that Betsy has asked that we contribute her honorarium, her speaker money, also to Ukraine. So we've got a nice bundle that comes from All Souls to send to Ukraine support.
And I'd like to light a candle for the beautiful flowers on the altar this morning, and to Kate Mason for going out and hunting them down and collecting them and bringing them here for us to enjoy. It's a wonderful ministry. Their presence enriches our presence here. Dan, are there any? There's no joys or sorrows on Zoom today. So let's just pause for a moment to hold all of these prayers for thresholds of change, to face our fears with vulnerability and kindness and presence, knowing that we're not alone, knowing that life gives us these assignments, and that when we meet them, we are changed. We give thanks for the blessing of that guidance, of that strength that comes from beyond our own self. We offer all these prayers with trust and thanksgiving. Blessed be. Let's see if there's anything. Yes, okay. So we now have the benediction.
Before I read the benediction, I just want to share a teeny exercise, breath exercise, which Sandra reminded me of. When we talk about, we always have the chance to choose faith or fear, and it's not always so conscious. But every time we breathe in, just take your regular breath. The top of the inhale, there's a teeny tiny little pause. That's a chance to practice faith or fear. If we can let it go and trust, pause after the air's out, the next breath is going to come. Practice faith again. Somebody taught me this recently, and it was just to show how many chances we have to cultivate faith and trust and to let go of fear. So I wanted to share that. The benediction, I'd like to read a short poem by Rumi called Don't Go Back to Sleep. Don't go back to sleep. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. Thank you all for being here, Room and Zoom. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Annie, and all of you. Blessings.